The use of language is one of the most distinctive characteristics of the human species. One part of human language behavior is the pronunciation, the speech sounds themselves as made and perceived by human beings in their use of language. Learnability by children is a basic determinant of phonological structure. This makes sense because children do not have a system of their own, and their phonology can be analyzed usefully only in relation to the adult counterpart. They have, at an early age, full perceptual mastery of the adult phonological system and have lexical representations equivalent to the adult surface forms. This means that children can perceive what others are saying at a strong level. So, make sure that you are having many conversations to your child and to others around your child. Their pronunciation falls short of the adults because of lack of mastery of the formation of speech sounds. Children at a young age begin processing everything. They will usually look around and stare at people or things to process what is happening. The development of speech production skills in infants and young children occur in a sequence of stages, each one of which is related to its predecessors in a coherent way. The orderly progression has certain universal aspects. However, the same progression is observed in all normal infants and at a slower rate in many intellectually disabled children. The development of speech can be like the development of motor skills in general, and of intelligence in the sensomotor period. Throughout the sensomotor period, the infant's ability to communicate evolves. The output of infants in certain stages is highly variable, and it is not rational to compare your children's results to a generalized speech development graph due to every child having their own pathway that does not strictly copy any graph or stages of development. However, if you feel as though your child is presenting a slow pace or a difficulty in learning, it is recommended to talk to your child's physician about it. As children grow, their formant frequencies fall. They gain a deeper voice, and this transition is most distinctive during their adolescence and or puberty. Different speakers use different vocal tract maneuvers to generate the vowels. So let's say you speak to your child in English, while your next door neighbor is speaking their native tongue, which we will say is Spanish for this example, to their baby. The muscles these babies use and how they use them will differ from each other because of the language differences. However, there are remarkable differences between children acquiring the same language. This is due to dialects, accents, and other environmental factors that play a role in how your child develops their voice and vocabulary. At the earliest stages of acquisition, children avoid words that begin with fricatives. Fricatives are sounds like th and f that force air through a narrow channel in your windpipe. This sound is difficult for children to make, so do not be worried if your child cannot say these sounds as soon as recognizable words are spoken. We have talked about both biological and cognitive processes for your child. Culture is also a huge factor in how your child learns language. Lev Vygotsky was a Soviet psychologist and was very influential to Western psychology when his work was published in 1962. Vygotsky believed that the culture or cultures a person is developed within will have its own values, beliefs, and tools of intellectual adaptation. Vygotsky also believed that language is a result of social interaction and that language is responsible for the development of thought. To refrain from going very in depth with socio-cultural psychology, I will instead talk about the differences in culture and the roles that play in language development. Beverly Otto from education.com writes about the differences that researchers have found when studying the language development of children from different cultures. For example, in American culture, children are taught by verbal instruction, whereas some other cultures learn by nonverbal instruction. It is possible for children to learn multiple languages at once. When the environmental and cultural factors are right, there is little to no maxima for how many languages a child can learn. At the end of the day, your child will most likely develop into an individual with the ability to speak one or maybe even more than one language.